The Switch has been a system. Okay, the Switch has been questionable. No doubt it's hugely popular and profitable, and when many kids who play it will grow up, they'll be hugely nostalgic for it. But my people will always be more partial to the DS, Wii, 3DS, and Wii U.
Know what that is? No.
When the Switch came out, I was going on 15 and my Nintendo exclusiveness began to wear, and then I got a PS4 a year later in 2018, and then that became my primary gaming system, and Nintendo was never the same to me ever again. Because of that, I didn't actually pick up most of the Switch slop over the years like I did with the Wii U and 3DS. No Mario Tennis for this time, but that didn't mean that I didn't pick up the occasional quality title. Mostly. With the Switch 2 on its way soon, I felt it suitable to look back at some of my own most played Switch games and discuss how I feel about them now. Right or wrong, to celebrate and critique how the Switch has been. Specifically, I want to examine my top 8 most played Switch games. And you might be asking, why 8? Because the Switch 2 will likely release 8 years after the Switch, so I like the figure. So at number 8 is Animal Crossing New Horizons, a very popular Switch release, and while I've played a good amount of it, I don't have the kindest words for this one. New Leaf was my jam as a kid, and I loved it for its soul and its heart, two things New Horizons lacks. Criticising this game is not bold, a lot of people have done it. The game has drifted further to The Sims than Animal Crossing, allowing for supreme customization at the cost of real life relatability. You can now be God. You can make terrain, place anything outside, decide where villagers live, invite whatever villagers you want to your island. If you are creative and you want to make your dream island, like the Barbie movie, then this is amazing. But if you like to raw dog your Animal Crossing games, you'll be very disappointed. Villagers have less dialogue than ever before. They just won't randomly move into your town. They won't get angry at you anymore. There are way less events here than in previous games, and the game released half complete. I like how down-to-earth the series used to feel. The music, the friendships, the unpredictability, but in New Horizons, it feels like the randomness was substituted for order, which may be fine for some people, but not for me. And for my Fire Emblem viewers, thank you for watching. This is like in Radiant Dawn, where Yune is the goddess of chaos and Ashira the goddess of order, and Ashira is an evil, annoying scumbag, and chaos is cool and rad. So basically, New Horizons should burn in hell, I don't know. Next up, number 7 is Fire Emblem Engage, and I admit, as funny as this sounds, Engage has really grown on me a ton thanks to that one bloody video I made which gave me like half of my subscribers, so I actually really like this one now.
Hello, I like money.
But Engage is great. Not one of the best Fire Emblems, but a good, fun adventure, with pleasing visuals, a nice cast, and great animations and gameplay. It serves as a nice retrospective on the series, while still holding up as a game, which is unique with a plot with great original characters. If you want a more detailed opinion, you can check the video out in the description below. God knows all of YouTubers watched it, so if you haven't, then
What's wrong with you?
But Engage falls a little bit flat with terrible pacing at the mid-end point, which ultimately leaves it feeling half-baked and a little mediocre as a Fire Emblem game goes. Also, the DLC is really weird, long and cumbersome to use on a normal playthrough. So overall, it's not a bad game. It's good. Good game. 8 out of 10. Number 6, Pokemon Shining Pearl. Oh, fuck, this one sucks. I love Pokemon and I love Generation 4. I grew up replaying Platinum so many times until my eyes bled. I played it anywhere and everywhere. And so a remake was all I ever wanted for years, and they ruined it. They ruined it so much.
Anything.
No!
This game is awful. Probably the only bad mainstream Pokemon game, like objectively bad. It's a cheap, lifeless remake, which basically adds nothing new. Actually, it has stuff removed. Not only is this game ugly, but it's also badly designed. For some reason, the EXP share is a permanent feature here, like in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But unlike those games, the original Diamond and Pearl are not designed for so much EXP for your party. But that's fine. Just balance the rest of the game, but they just don't. So your team has to be over-leveled the entire game. and then they keep the base Diamond and Pearl trainers. So everything is not balanced. It's mindless. It's not even easy. It's genuinely mindless. It boggles my mind. Who made this? Pokemon Platinum has more features than this. Why would you ever touch this? The only reason this is such a high playtime is because of my love of Platinum. I fought to shiny hunt Giratina, and I soft resetted well over 8,000 times, but I never got him. I got very unlucky, but I got nothing. And maybe someday, Giratina, but that day was not yesterday, and it probably won't be tomorrow either. RIP. I used to... Number 5, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I recently made a video on an aspect of this game, but I love this one. It has such a fun story, with some of my favourite JRPG characters of all time. This game may be clunky and a little bit odd, a little bit silly, with some bad dialogue and lip syncing and voice acting, but my god, do I love it to bits. It's so charming and fun, and having so many regional accents make it stand out among a sea of other anime games. The voice cast is so good, and even featuring a brilliant Welsh voice actress, which makes me feel appreciated. And gameplay wise, this game is great fun. I always had a great time, and it has my favourite Xenoblade soundtrack to date. Hands down, some amazing tracks here. The question for me is, would I still like this game if it came out later? It came out when I was 15, at a key moment in my developmental teenage brain, at a time when my taste in games was shifting towards JRPGs, so I wonder if timing played a factor here in my fondness, or maybe I just really liked Mithra's Breath. Number 4, Fire Emblem Warriors. I love me some Fire Emblem, and I loved Fire Emblem Warriors. It arguably came out during my peak of Fire Emblem love, and I ate this game up. I really loved Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, and despite not being a big Zelda fan, I still really enjoyed it, so a Fire Emblem version was right up my alley, and it did not disappoint. It was a fun, creative, beautiful game, and overall was a great time. There was some controversy over this game, however, as it didn't feature most of the games, mostly focusing on Awakening and Fates, which annoyed some hardcore fans, but I never minded, largely because my Prince Takumi was in it, and because I was more of a casual fan back then anyway. But I sunk a ton of hours into this game, largely because of these history maps, which took hours, but I never got bored. There was always such a ton of variety of gameplay options which kept me engaged, and on top of the gameplay, the game had support conversations across different games, which was like really cool, especially all the ones related to Takumi. I love Takumi.
No, I don't believe you. I've met Ryoma and the others. They would grieve terribly if you were wounded or killed.
Nah, they'd still have Corrin. They like her better anyway.
You need to leave!
Die already!
Man, if you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
I'll never forgive you. No kill.
This is impossible!
Number 3, Pokemon Shield. In all honesty, I do have a soft spot for this one. Is Pokemon a dead game series? Yeah. Basically, unless you're a child, the Switch Pokemon games kind of suck. That was brutal, M1. Unless you're a child. Jesus, my script writing's brutal. Anyway, these two games really did start this downward trend. No national decks, remember that? But all in all, I don't hate Sword and Shield. They do have some good aspects, like a nice selection of new Pokemon, and the wild area was pretty cool. I do have some nice memories of this one, playing it on cold winter days in 19 and 20 shiny hunting. That was fun. I acknowledge that this game kinda sucks, but I do enjoy it somewhat, and I love Ice Cube. He was such a cool guy, pun entirely intended. But yeah, no national decks, being way too easy, and feeling like it never lived up to the expectations of what a Switch Pokemon game should have been, really do hold it back. But regardless, shiny hunting years ago will always hold fond memories for me, especially when I remember the tinsel and Christmas tree up. Really nice times. Number 2, Fire Emblem Three Houses. One of the best Fire Emblem games ever made, people. This game blew expectations out of the water, and even if some people don't like it, you can't deny its huge success and longevity within Nintendo and Fire Emblem communities. Three Houses is a unique, special game which has an amazing cast and an amazing story with very fun gameplay, even if the visuals can look a bit desaturated at times. Three Houses having multiple fleshed out paths which really radically change the story and characters, make it very replayable and also make it very unique. And I remember this game releasing like it was yesterday. I was so excited for it, and it actually lived up to my expectations. This is a phenomenal game which still feels like it released yesterday, as it has stood the test of time remarkably. Like, how is this game over 5 years old? Hello? I hate being old. I'm not 22, I'm 17. And for number 1, it's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. One of the best games ever made. It has something for everyone. A huge, diverse and exceptional cast, a brilliant stage selection, and the ultimate party game for friends. You've played it and you've loved it. And it has like half a dozen Fire Emblem characters, which is poggers as fuck, and it has Sora, which is awesome. But next time I want Echo Fighter Roxas. I just miss how now when they have Nintendo Directs, it's just not as exciting anymore. Back then, everyone shit themselves over who the next DLC fighter would be, and hell, I was no different. I'm not better than them. Only problem now is, how the hell will they top this? We'll wait and see, I guess. So all in all, looking back, has Switch been a good system? I can't say. I use it now for my Fire Emblem and Pikmin games, which is fun, but overall, it's not got that Nintendo charm, but that's okay. I'm a grown man who will not buy Princess Peach Has a Pink Adventure in Barbie Land, and that's alright. Like, I think I can count on 2 hands how many Switch games I have bought this decade. Go on, I'll try. Animal Crossing, Engage, Free Hopes, Shining Pearl, Scarlet, Pikmin 3, Pikmin 1 and 2, Xenoblade 1, 3, Mario All-Star Collection, Pikmin 3. Okay, this is more of a, I said Pikmin 3 already. Who cares? But in the last year, I've only bought 1 Switch game, which was Mario RPG Remake. So that about sums up my overall apathy for the thing. But hey, when it came out, it was pretty cool, right?